You can hear the silence, haiku. I'll be right there. The mic is on, yes.
RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, okay. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. This is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history. Decency, dignity, democracy, humanity, and we need it. We need more of it. So I see haiku is in the chat room at youtube.com/C for channel /Tarabuster. Oh my God, I see Jeffrey Giraffe in the chat room with the super chat. Are you kidding me with that super chat, Jeffrey? I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much. You won the super chat challenge tonight, Jeffrey. And I have to ask. I sent you a mug. This is the horn mug, but have I sent you any mugs? You gotta get in touch with me about that. Also, if you want any other swag, like the Resist T-shirt that I'm wearing, so you certainly earned it. And I see the chat room filling up. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Very nice. Thank you so much, Jim. Always supporting the show and for hanging out. And thank you also, I want to thank Jim and Haiku for being the moderators in the chat room. Fair, but firm. You know, not like me. I'm just like, get off with their heads. And thank you, everybody else. Winston, I did send you. Okay, well, if you want another piece, any other kind of swag, let me know. We have new Fascism Equals Death shirts. Of course, there's the good old Francis Jr. shirts, Resist. All right, we could talk about it later because we have other things to talk about. Yes, mugs are definitely in order, haiku, that's for sure, in this case. So, okay, what else? I have to do some plugs. We are, and thank you, Richard W. Super chat. Super chats are coming in like fast and furious. Thank you. It does help keep the show going and growing, and I just bought a new camera for the show. Because the other camera, it was looking like, wasn't like, it was getting on my nerves. Okay. And your nerves, too, because we were spending all that time fussing with it. All right. Become a patron at patreon.com. If you can, support the show. Keep the show going and growing because this is unapologetic liberal talk and we need it. Otherwise, we're doomed. As you can see, what's going on. This show is also on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. Those are regular. If you can give the show a good review on iTunes, that helps. And also, we're on Rokfin.com, and of course, Progressive Voices, and also APS Radio News. Check it out. Another platform that is hosting different voices, and it's hosting this friggin' voice. APS Radio News and FYINation.com. Yes. Oh, thank you. Winston says, I dig the new camera, Tara. Your hair looks really great on it. Thank you. All right. I wish I didn't have body dysmorphic disorder. Which basically means when I look in the mirror, I want to smack my parents, you know? What the hell were they thinking? Did those two, had to get together? All right. We have a lot to talk about, and it's really what we've been talking about every single damn day. And yeah, don't blame Susan Sarandon for this. This is Jonathan on the chat says. I'm telling you, anytime anything happens now, it's all over Twitter. Thanks, Susan Sarandon. As if, okay, and I had to play that game too. I jumped in because I was all for Bernie, you guys know. And then I did vote for Hillary, but give me a break, man. The fact is, Hillary should have trounced that orange turd. You know, it was like the worst, the most disgusting aspects of humanity scraped up and shoved into an overstuffed orange film human suit. I can't even talk. And you couldn't. I mean, you should have trounced that con man. Right. So, anyway, that's my opinion on that. And it really does get on my nerves when they start blaming Susan Sarandon, because it just shows you that they're not really looking at themselves. You know, they're not taking stock. Sort of like the Republican Party of Personal Responsibility. That's what they do. Point fingers. Well, look at yourself. Why did you lose to the con man? It wasn't Bernie. And the fact is, they posted article saying 1 in 10 Bernie voters voted for Trump. And yeah, because Bernie had that crossover appeal that, yeah, in an outsider election, that that the Democrats, the corporate Dems, are always trying to get when they're, you know, doing stupid things like taking pictures of themselves duck hunting and pushing right-wing policies, you know, and pining for bipartisanship like a friggin' battered spouses pining for an abuser. It's really ridiculous. Yes, I blame the other Susan, Jim says. Yeah, Susan Collins. F her. I believe him when and I did a meme. I did a meme, Mommy. Mommy, look at me. I did a meme. And but it was when, this is what I hate. I hate Republicans, you know that. But when Susan Collins made that announcement of how she sucked up all the attention, because what will Susan Collins do? Then that is why I will support Brett Kavanaugh's illegitimate. I like beer too. I will support him in spite of the fact that he banged the table and screamed, "I like beer," and Revenge of the Clintons. Because that's normal. That's what a normal adult male does nowadays. Well, if you're white, right? If you're a white, rich man, you can do whatever the fuck you want. He could have took a shit on that table. You know what I mean? He could have been like, "Revenge of the Clintons," and then like jumped up on the table and went like a child, you know, and ever see a kid try to take a dump in their diapers? Boom. And then like let it loose on the table. And then there was nothing that the Republicans that he could have done for them not to vote for him, because they're a cult. It's an anti-democratic cult. They hate America. They hate democracy. We went over it last night, and we will go over it every other night that we're here until they come and knock the door down and take us all away. I just hope that they put me, Francis Jr., Tara Jr., and Ray in the same cell. Yeah, right? But, yeah, so I will support his nominee. And but when she made this announcement, yeah, I'll show you. It really got on my nerves, like everything else they do. But she, you remember she had these two women behind her? The props? She had to have some women props behind her, because it was, who the fuck were those women? Anyway, they're not represented. It's just like, here, you got a vagina? You got ovaries or whatever. Whatever. You look like a woman. Come on, yeah, come in the back. Sit behind me while I kick you down, metaphorically down a flight of steps and back into the dark ages. I will support. Here's the meme that I did today. See? Kavanaugh likes beer. Oh, wait. It's in the way. Kavanaugh likes beer and hates women, but what can I say? I believe him. And who are these women? Right? Who are they? Come here and sit behind me. Not that this is your place that you sit and regularly, but I'm making a speech that's going to set women's rights back 50 years or more. So I need you, and look very dour and just like me. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, we're back. My name is Tara Devlin. Thanks for hanging out. This is Unapologetic Liberal Talk, and we're at youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. We have a very hoppin' and poppin' chat room right now, so if you want to hang out, I suggest you come on over and please hang out with us in the chat room. We're commiserating the end of the American experiment. And what was I saying last night? So, okay, here's the thing. I don't even know where to begin. Because Poppy Champlin will be calling in at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll go over this together. But what do you expect? You know, Republicans they took the ruling with maturity and grace. Of course they didn't. Because that's not them. They're disgusting. They lack the maturity to function in a democratic society. Of course. The thing that really annoys me, on top of everything else, is that the Democrats let them get away with it because they don't fight with the facts. And what do I say about the show? We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity, and history, right? The right side of reality. The fact is, the abortion rate does not go down when abortion is criminalized. I don't get how hard is that to say. Why is it, they say I support a woman's right to choose. Well, that's great. Of course, that's part of it. But it's not even the most important part. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't know. They're all equally important. But you can, the fascists counteract that with, you right to choose to kill a baby, right? So they easily negate that. But informing the American people with the facts, get out the fucking facts. Remember when that con man Reagan, their patron saint of trickle down, he gave a speech in the Oval Office and he had charts and shit that were all based in bullshit. The Laffer curve, completely pulled out of their ass. Well, give the American people some charts that backed up by the facts that show the American people just the basic moral bankruptcy of the Republican agenda, because the abortion rate does not go down when abortion is criminalized. Period. All they're doing is sending women into back alley abortions. They're killing women on top of everything else that they kill. So they oppose every policy that actually reduces the abortion rate. So come on, how hard is it to argue like that? To say I'm pro-choice And then to allow them to steal, just like they stole the patriotism moniker, but to allow them to steal the pro-life moniker. They're not pro-life. Not in any sense of the word. They're pro-death. They're pro-control. That's it. They're not happy unless Americans are needlessly dying in some form or another. Whether you die when you're going to a supermarket, to a concert, to a school, or a synagogue or a church. They love death. And whether you die in a back alley, they want you to needlessly die. They'll needlessly die without health care. Needlessly die from death by despair, right? That's the kind of society they have in their sights. So I don't get it, Democrats. Now, I spent the day, besides fuming, but calling my representatives. And also, yesterday with the guns, this fucking illegitimate Supreme Court, and saying that states, they have no rights to say anything about guns. But the hypocrisy is, of course, not unexpected. But I was like, so yesterday I was calling the representatives and senators. And I called Nancy Pelosi's office and saying and in fact, I did get two people on the phone. The AOC's office always has somebody there. Of all the representatives and senators, AOC's office always has people picking up the phone. You got to give her credit. And I called Senator Schumer's office and Gillibrand's office. And to my surprise, somebody picked up the phone at Gillibrand's office. So I said, and I also called Nancy Pelosi. Nobody ever picks up there. And left a message like how, and, respectfully, to the best of my ability, but how much, I said, how hard is it to fight with the facts? And it's so easy to just say, to expose the hypocrisy and the moral bankruptcy of the Republican argument. They're not pro-life because they're pro-death. They're pro-control. They're pro-fascist. But all you got to say is the abortion rate does not go down when abortion is criminalized. I haven't heard that once from anybody, but I did hear. I heard a couple of the Democrats on corporate media saying things like this is an illegitimate Supreme Court, and I was very glad to hear it. Because that's what I was telling them on the phone the day before, too. Every time you get in front of I hope they're listening, frankly. Every time you get in front of a camera, you have to say, and because the American people are sheeple, and many of them, but you must remind them that this is an illegitimate court. Pushed on all of the conservatives on the court are put there by less vote-getting so-called presidents. George Bush was shoved on the court after receiving fewer votes, put on the court by the Supreme Court. And then you have the con man who received fewer votes and was only on the friggin' in the president. How is this even? Yeah, all right. Let me relax for a second. But he was only there because of Republican dirty tricks and the archaic Electoral College, the racist ass throwback, of course, right? And Moscow Mitch's dirty tricks. Moscow Mitch, who represents like the same town of people in Queens here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so AOC represents more people than, I mean, maybe I'm just saying that. I don't know off the top of my head, but how many people live in this neighborhood in Queens? I'm saying AOC probably represents more people than half the filthy fascist pricks in the Republican Party. They receive fewer votes. They represent a minority of so-called humans, and they're only on the court because of the Republican willingness to destroy everything, to destroy democracy. They hate democracy. They hate America. And because if they didn't hate America, they would respect precedent. They would respect the fact that they don't have a mandate. You see what I mean? They would respect that. They would understand. And if, as the studies and the polls show, how the Supreme Court has like a 25% approval rating, and going lower by the second, and they would consider that a problem, and they would be worried about the American people and their confidence in the court. But Moscow Mitch, he corrupted the Supreme Court, and he's corrupted other courts, but we allowed it to happen. And the Democrats, oh well, they just go along with it. All this time they should have been saying how, in the very least, Gorsuch is illegitimate, right? From the beginning. And then he just, he blocked not Obama, but the American people who elected Obama in 2 landslide elections. Moscow Mitch, who represents, the same amount of people as a small town in Queens, said, fuck you to the majority of the American people, and just said, I'll do what I want. You want democracy? You want to live in a society that is progressive and forward-thinking and leaves no one behind and promotes the general welfare over the welfare of the corporate fascist elite? Forget it. That's so quaint. We have to do what they want. And you notice, you see the Republicans, they're so disgusting. This Uncle Clarence Thomas, in his decision, in the ruling, whatever the fuck, and this bullshit he wrote to fix the facts around, to fix his twisted view of the facts around other women to die in back alleys. He set his sights on other leaps forward that the country has taken. They will not be happy until this country is like Afghanistan, except with a bit more Jesus. Not a bit more, a lot more. It is the Handmaid's Tale. Of course it is. It starts with women being nothing but vessels. That's all. We're just vessels. It's disgusting. And like I said, it's not about life. It's about control and fascism. And it all goes hand in hand. Misogyny is a big part of fascism. And if you can't control your own body, how can you be autonomous? You can't, you might have to stay with your abuser. Right? You won't be able to flee. it's a means of control. There's so many scenarios that women of this country and men who aren't assholes fought to overcome. And like everything else this illegitimate Supreme Court does, nobody who was asking them to do it except for the tyrannical minority, right? Not the majority. In this, they always say how divided the country is, right? So in this divided country, over 60% of the American people want a woman to be able to have an abortion. But, oh well. And then what about guns? I don't know what off the top of my head, I think it's like 70% of Americans think that there is no fathomable reason for a civilian to have an assault weapon. I know that it's 90% of the American people want background checks on gun purchases and on, but this doesn't happen because the tyrannical minority they don't give a shit, and money in politics has that's fascism in a nutshell. This government doesn't operate to promote the general welfare. It operates to promote the welfare of the transnational corporate few at the top, and all of this other shit of Roe v. Wade and throwing guns, making sure everybody can have a gun and shooting each other in the street. That is how you destroy a democracy. And democracy is pesky for these people. They hate it. They've hated it since the founders rebelled against the intergenerational aristocracy 200 years ago. They're dragging us back to the system the founders overthrew. And even further. They're not just rolling back Roe v. Wade. They're rolling back the Progressive Era, the New Deal, straight back to the Dark Ages. And I say it all the time. That's why don't the Democrats listen to me? But I did hear some Democrats on the corporate media calling the Supreme Court illegitimate, and a few calling for the expansion of the court. But then Karine Jean-Pierre was on the corporate media, and she said that the president does not support expanding the court. So, and I just screamed into the wind, and I screamed, of course he doesn't, because that's what actually needs to happen. Why don't we let's talk to the Republicans some more. Let's maybe invite them over for a sit down, right? Let's maybe do give them some policy. Say, hey, I want your ideas. Let's all sit down and hash it out. Fucking ridiculous. It's like when Obama, he used to drive me crazy because I wanted him to be FDR, and of course he was a traitor to his class, but it wasn't. Unfortunately, his class was the middle class, not like FDR's class, which was the aristocracy. So, but he was always saying, I welcome Republican ideas. Of course, he said, Republicans, I welcome your ideas. I welcome your idea. So we went from I welcome your hatred to I welcome your ideas. We know Republican ideas. Republican ideas are what got us into this fucking boat. We're up to here with Republican ideas. We're done. Republican ideas suck. Republican ideas drag women into back alleys. They kill women, they kill babies. They get us to the point where children, school children, have to be identified through DNA after being decapitated by assault weapons. And, you know, the president doesn't support? The president doesn't support the fucking very thing that has to happen. What's going to happen? How do you fix the court? It's not just the court. So, of course, Biden is saying we have to get out and vote and get more, not let these scum-sucking pricks have a majority, because forget it. This is what they do when they don't have a majority. When they have a majority, they set up the Handmaid's Tale, and here we are. And nothing's going to stop them, but they're like, we need more, get out and vote, blah, blah, blah. Wait. And, okay, but the courts are corrupt. We got to fix that too. All right, we're back. Unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history. All right, I'm looking at the chat. So people are saying, what happened? Mary Trump was calling Susan Sarandon an idiot? Where? Oh, she on... Wait, blame Mary Trump for calling... Was this on Twitter? I mean, it's just so lazy. Right? Susan Sarandon. Well, like, who the fuck is she? She's so powerful. Everyone follows Susan Sarandon. No, that's not what happened. Look at yourselves. It's ridiculous. It's any excuse not to take any responsibility for, in the middle of an election where all over, the South, Trump was going to win. And they assumed that, I don't know what they assumed. They assumed a lot. It bit us in the ass. But like I said, Hillary should have trounced the con man, but it wasn't her time, I believe, because people were sick of it. That's why we had Bernie and Trump voters, Bernie or Trump voters, because you had some right-wingers that wanted change. They wanted an outsider. And when Bernie wasn't in the race, they weren't going to vote for Hillary ever. They voted for the fucking con man. But I don't know. So when one actress has an opinion, and that's what sunk. That's what sunk Hillary. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. Because she said maybe Trump should win because of Hillary. Is that right, chat room? Yeah, I think she said I think Susan Sarandon said something like Trump would be a wake-up call, and maybe people would it would shake people up so much that they would do what, make the change that's really needed. And so now, forever and ever, amen, we whenever something happens, it'll be thanks Susan Sarandon, not anybody else. There's nobody else to blame, right? Don't blame the DNC or the corporate media. Nah, it's Susan Sarandon. Who, huh? It seems pretty damn lazy to me. And also, it's like, take responsibility. So, so here's the other thing. Oh, what was I saying? Yeah, the anti-choice right gloats, of course, right? Because that's what they do. And this is why the Democrats need to listen to Tarabuster and take my advice in the messaging game and knock these suckers out at the knees, metaphorically. What are you gloating about? Not only are you increasing the abortion rate, you're also killing women, too. Well, here's from Salon. Amid all the gloating, anti-abortion right dreams of bigger wins and possibly violence. Possibly. So, the news, and who wrote this article? Catherine Joyce. Finally, a name I can pronounce. Then the news. Wait, let me see. Is Poppy? I gotta see. I gotta monitor the phones. The news that the Supreme Court has overturned Roe v. Wade, allowing for immediate abortion bans in at least 9 new states across the country by Friday afternoon, with the near certainty of many more to come, has led to an onslaught of celebratory statements from the right. And you know, when they're celebrating, there's some evil going on. It's always the worst people celebrating. When the worst people are happy, you know there's trouble. That evil is afoot. And trust me, they're evil. Right? That's what they call evil. Thank God. I keep seeing I went on the conservative Reddit. Thank the Lord. That's why we have to take it back. Take back the pro-life moniker. They're not pro-life. They're pro-death. This is a death cult. And now they're going to kill, not only they're going to kill babies and cause more abortion, they're going to kill women. All right? And the Democrats really need to just say, Republicans won't be happy. They're not happy unless Americans are needlessly dying in some form or another. So, okay. It had led to an onslaught of celebratory statements from the right, ranging from the tepid and the quasi-responsible, to the gleeful and ghoulish, to ominous warnings from extremists itching for violence. A warning, some of this is really foul. Starting from the head of the snake, Donald Trump, the scumbag con man. Well, that's I'm editorializing too, because that's the way it should be written. If this were a sane society, Donald the scumbag Trump sent an email blast claiming credit for the ruling. Today's decision, which is the biggest win, all caps, for life, all caps, in a generation, along with other decisions that have been announced recently, were only made possible because I delivered everything I promised. Is that what... I'm sure that's what he probably said to his mommy when he first learned how to use the potty. Across Twitter, many leading conservatives enthusiastically agreed with right-wing talk show host Michael Knowles tweeting that Trump's victory in 2016 ended the constitutional so-called, well, quote-unquote, right to abortion. He has secured his place as one of the greatest, oh, fuck you, and most consequential presidents in American history. The American history he's trying to destroy. Ned Rohn, or however you pronounce it, the CEO of American Majority, a right-wing activist training organization, concurred, writing that not even Reagan could accomplish this. Oh my God. I just had a vision in my mind about... Could you imagine if these fuckers, if they are successful in the coup, you know what they're going to do? They're going to build statues to this piece of shit, Trump. They're going to put up like a Lincoln Memorial type thing with Trump Trust me. Could you imagine that? I'm getting the fuck out of here. If that happens, I swear it's over. I'm breaking up with the country. But they'll do it because they're sick. They hate America, and they think it, it owns the libs, which is another, like I say, it's another example of how much they actually hate America. You don't, if your motivation is to trigger your fellow Americans or own your fellow Americans, then you're not a patriot. You're a piece of dirt. And you hate your country, right? Can't be denied. Not even Reagan could accomplish this. In my mind, Trump is easily one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Republican president ever. Oh my God. You see what I'm saying? Lincoln ended slavery. Trump ended Roe. Wow. And like I say, what's wrong with you Democrats? How they're able to keep spewing this fake-ass pro-life bullshit when they're not pro-life is partly the fault of the Democrats. Others use the moment to settle political scores with multiple right-wing figures following the model of Federalist CEO Sean Davis, who tweeted at Never Trump lawyer David French, "If you had gotten your way, today would never have happened." Shortly after the decision was announced, Mike Pence, the new hero of everyone who has a corporate media mouthpiece, undermined years of claims by the anti-abortion movement that it merely wanted to return the issue to the states. And the former Veep, treated as a hero, said, we must not rest. Hold on. Well, what was I saying? This is Mike Pence, tweeted as a hero, former Veep, treated as a hero by the January 6th committee earlier this week, called for a nationwide ban on abortion, having been given the second chance at life, which is bullshit. Like I said, it's absolute bullshit. They're not doing anything for abortion. They're not fucking reducing the abortion rate. Okay? All they're doing is killing women. How hard is that, Democrats? How hard is that to repeat? Jesus Christ. So that's why he can say something like, it having been given the second chance at life, we must not rest and must not relent until the sanctity of life is restored to the center of American law in every state in the land. Hold on, Oh, boy. In Texas, Zach Despart. How do you pronounce the fucking guy's name? I don't know. Who cares? Who cares? I'm just tweeting Poppy the call-in number in case she forgot it. 14 Republican members of the state house signed onto a letter to the ride-sharing company Lyft, vowing to introduce legislation that would ban companies whose health insurance policies cover abortion from operating in Texas, as well as opening company executives up to criminal prosecution under laws that predate Roe, but were never repealed. Representative Briscoe Kane, who led the group of lawmakers, warned Lyft's CEO that Texas could take swift and decisive action unless the company rescinded a pledge to pay for the travel expenses of employees who have to go out of state to seek abortions. Fuck you. Freedom, right? Freedom. This is absolute tyranny. It's fascism. It is an assault on everyone, every right, everybody's autonomy. It's assault on the general welfare. It's an assault on families, on freedom, on decency. Jesus Christ. On the free market. If Lyft CEO wants to support freedom, who the fuck are you, fascist? But this is what they do now. They use the power of their office not to advance life and promote life and promote the general welfare and unity, decency, dignity, democracy. What they do is they use their position of power to entrench their own power and bully their enemies. They are fascists. They're a minority cult, just like the Nazis. You see, the Nazis, I remember in one of the great courses that I took about not the rise of Nazi Germany, then one of the professors what's the word? Yeah, I can't talk. He described this Nazi takeover as, well, the support for the Nazis were a mile wide and an inch thin. So they were never a majority. But they were everywhere. They were all over the place, and they were loud. They were violent, and it works. You know, they only got into power by means of intimidation and everything that's going on in this country, and then they use their power as all the steps along the way. You know, when they tried the coup. And then that didn't work, so then they tried to pretend that they were a legitimate political party, while behind the scenes they were, Hitler was distancing himself from the brown shirts and the violence of the brown shirts. But all the while they were out there intimidating people, going to meetings of Communist Party meetings and beating people up and using violence. This is what's happening in this country. And when they got power, as one little step at a time, they used the minimal amount of power to entrench themselves even more. And I think, where was this? Did I show you? I think it was in some documentary. There was I think we played the clip on the show of when Hermann Goering was in the Reichstag, and they were still pretending there was a semblance of democracy, and Hermann Goering was overseeing. He was sort of like when Pence up there, like with the gavel, he was presiding over the vote that day, and he just turned his head when the opposition party tried to get his attention to vote. They were trying to dissolve the Reichstag or whatever. I can't remember now exactly how it went, but they were trying to, they were trying to keep democracy going. And Hermann Goering, I'll have to revisit this, but Hermann Goering pretended not to see the opposition party leader. And he turned his head and then pretended, okay, well, I guess that's done. And when all was said and done, he said, "You're finished." But it was all dirty tricks. dirty effing tricks. And we have Poppy Champlin on the phone. Poppy Champlin, comedian extraordinaire, normal person.
Yes,
Here you are. How you doing, Poppy?
Oh my God! I can't even believe it. I mean, I can believe it,
I know.
but when I heard it this morning, I'm just like,
I know.
it happened. I can't believe it happened.
I know. Well, it is surreal, even though we knew it was coming, and it's almost like, yeah, you can prepare yourself, but then it happens, and you still can't believe it, right? I mean, it's.
Handmaid's Tale is getting so closer.
It is. It is. This is how it doesn't happen overnight. Just like when, they talk about fascism. This is fascism. It doesn't start with the death camps, but that's where it goes. We're here. We're in the middle of a fascist coup, and that can't be denied. They are a fascist death cult.
Now, the definition of fascism is what again?
Well, it is here, let me see. Hold on. It is technically the merger of corporation and government, which, hold on. But there are characteristics. Here, let's review. 14 characters.
Yeah. And why put the hate out on the women?
Well, it's part of control. I mean, fascism includes misogyny and hold on a second. Wait, and it's very this hyper masculinity is part of it, and this is what we have, So
do
here,
you think that this is going to promote rape?
it won't. It won't hurt. You know what I mean? It won't.
It doesn't hurt. Oh my God! I mean, it feels like the rapists. They say nothing about what happens to the rapist.
Oh yeah!
Like,
oh yeah!
Oh
They
my
would
God,
never.
The rapists.
Right. They would never.
Rapists are going to be like, yeah, it's a holiday for us.
Right. Exactly. Well, here's
mark this day. This is free rape today. This
free
is a
rape.
free rape day.
Well, it's just,
Right.
when women are nothing. So we're not full human beings. And it's sort of like being gay, right? Back when we weren't able to, not that I'm marrying anybody, but not have to form, you didn't have the choice to form a legal marriage contract with somebody. I mean, that's all a marriage is a contract, to form a legal contract with somebody that has the same pee-pee, So you're not a full citizen of the country. And it's obvious to me, it was always obvious that it was in violation of human rights and also constitutional rights, because it's a violation of, in the very least, of equal protection under the law. But it doesn't matter to them. Wait, hold on. Here comes the music. We'll be right back with Poppy Champlin. We're talking about fascism and everything else. All right, let me read this. It's the 14 character. This is a famous document put together by a political scientist, Dr. Lawrence Britt. Okay, who is a, like I said, political scientist. And here it is. It's the 14 characteristics of fascism. Powerful, and here's number 1. Powerful and continuing nationalism. Fascist regimes tend to make constant use of patriotic mottos, slogans, symbols, songs, and other paraphernalia. Flags are seen everywhere, as are flag symbols on clothing and in public displays. Okay? Here we go. 2, disdain for the recognition of human rights. Because of fear of enemies and the need for security, the people in fascist regimes are persuaded that human rights can be ignored in certain cases because of need, quote unquote. The people tend to look the other way or even approve of torture, summary executions, assassinations, long incarcerations of prisoners, etc. I mean, this is them, Here, number 3, identification of enemies / scapegoats as a unifying cause. Now we have trans people and, of course, gay people, women, Democrats, liberals, right? The people are rallied. Right here, let me read it. The people are rallied into a unifying patriotic frenzy over the need to eliminate a perceived common threat or foe, either racial, ethnic, or religious minorities, liberals, communists, socialists, terrorists, etc. Number 4, supremacy of the military. Even when there are widespread domestic problems, the military is given a disproportionate amount of government funding, and a domestic agenda is neglected. Soldiers and military service are glamorized, and that's them to a disgusting degree, right? Rampant sexism. Number 5. Governments of fascist nations, tend to be almost exclusively male-dominated. Under fascist regimes, traditional gender roles are made more rigid. Opposition to abortion is high, as is homophobia and anti-gay legislation as national policy. Okay, here's another. 6. Controlled mass media. Sometimes media is Sometimes the media is directly controlled by the government, but in other cases, the media is indirectly controlled by government regulation or sympathetic media spokespeople and executives. Censorship, especially in wartime, is very common. And this is Fox News, right? Where everybody is watching the January 6th hearing and they're talking about tanning your testicles and men not being men because there's not there's not nicotine. They're reducing nicotine in cigarettes. It's just this is fascism, right? So here, number 7, obsession with national security. Fear is used as a motivational tool by the government over the masses. That's them. That's them. Build that wall. Build that wall. Right? Religion and government are intertwined. Number 8. Governments in fascist nations tend to use the most common religion in the nation as a tool to manipulate public opinion. Religious rhetoric and terminology is common from government leaders, even when the major tenets of the religion are diametrically opposed to the government's policies or action. Okay, number 9. Corporate power is protected. The industrial and business aristocracy of a fascist nation are often the ones who put the government leaders into power, creating a mutually beneficial business-government relationship and power elite. And that's what we have. So, and that's why you have things like, we have money in politics, but this is why which is the root of all this evil, but that's why government, it doesn't matter what public opinion is. They will do whatever the fuck they want. The 90% of Americans want background checks on gun purchases in the very least. And it hasn't passed, right? I don't know what's in this new bill, but it's nothing. Then they're celebrating it.
I think there's a little more background checking.
Might be, but
especially for the young people.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on with the conceal and carry? What the hell
well,
is
that's
that?
another thing. In certain states, like New York, California, and I don't know the other states, but you needed to show cause if you wanted. Everybody could have a gun in their house, right? And that's New York law.
Yeah.
But if you wanted a gun to walk around with because you have a small dick, they wanted you to prove, right? It's not just because you have a small dick. You needed it to because you were taking your payroll to the bank, or you had whatever. You needed to show a cause.
Really, what kind of cause is there for carrying a gun? Really?
That's all it is. It's just let's say you drove a cab, or you were you were in danger of being robbed in some way, And that was why you could conceal carry. Now it's a fucking free for all. Anybody can walk around with a gun in New York City, and
you are kidding.
I'm not kidding. That's what they said.
That's what the law says now?
Yeah.
That's what they just
Well,
passed
of course,
today?
no. That's what the Supreme Court. That's what it is. That's the fucking thing. But
Jesus.
the the governor and mayor are like, don't, there are still laws in effect. Just try it. They're gonna come up with, they say if you walk around with a gun, you're going to be arrested. They're saying, but. That's what should happen. But I don't know. They're looking at ways to minimize the damage of this fucking out of control illegitimate court.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, it's like were we asking them? I mean, nobody was asking them. The majority of New Yorkers were like, get lost with this shit. But this is fascism. It doesn't matter. The tyranny of the minority. So let me just finish the last, since I started this list. Let's finish.
Yeah.
So religion and government are intertwined. And then number 9, corporate power is protected. The industrial and business aristocracy of a fascist nation are often the ones who put the government leaders into power, which is what we have. I mean, creating a mutually beneficial business-government relationship and the power elite. And I think I read that already. But number 10, labor power is suppressed. That's the Republican Party in a nutshell. They hate unions. They hate anybody organizing. Because the organizing power of labor is really the only threat to a fascist government, labor unions are either eliminated entirely or severely suppressed. So the Republicans have been doing that for generations. The labor union rate in the country used to be 35%. Now it's less than 5%, and that's because of a years long attack on labor. No matter what, every time and the Supreme Court has done this. Of course, this fascist fucking Supreme Court. Anytime any case comes before them that they rule against labor, rule against the people. Hold on, We'll be right back. And I'm talking to Poppy Champlin, comedian, and we're reading the 14 characteristics of fascism. Let me just finish. There's only 4 to go. Number 11, disdain for intellectuals and the arts. Fascist nations tend to promote and tolerate open hostility to higher education and academia. It is not uncommon for professors and other academics to be censored or even arrested. Free expression in the arts is openly attacked, and governments are often refused to fund the arts. I mean, this is Republicans for years. Defund the national. The National Foundation for the Arts. There is some. They're always like, defund this, and of course they're attacking artists and telling you what books to read and shit. So, yeah. And here.
Did I tell you about this?
Wait, hold on. Let me just finish this.
Okay.
What? Wait, hold on. I just gotta finish.
Right, you finish.
Let me just finish this, because Number 12, obsession with crime and punishment. Under fascist regimes, the police are given almost limited power to enforce laws. People are often willing to overlook police abuses, even forego civil liberty. I mean, this is them. And in the name of patriotism, there is often a national police force with virtually unlimited power in fascist nations. And that's what, Trump wanted to set up his own little Praetorian Guard, and then in Florida, DeSantis he started a voting police. I mean, they're really fucking off the chain. So Number 13, rampant cronyism and corruption. Fascist regimes almost always are governed by groups of friends and associates who appoint each other to government positions and use governmental power and authority to protect their friends from accountability. That's That's Trump in a nutshell. And it is not uncommon for fascist regimes, for national resources and even treasures to be appropriated and even outright stolen by government leaders. I mean, that's Trump. This is what they do. Giving fucking, contracts to friends, and this is what they do. And then of course when he left the White House, I remember they were walking out with like paintings and shit. They had them on video.
Really?
Yeah, like the people who work there.
Wow.
They're just scum. They're scum. And then so the last one, number 14, fraudulent elections. Sometimes elections in fascist nations are a complete sham, and this is what the Republicans are doing. If they are successful, and we can blame Sinema and Manchin for this. All of their Republican dirty tricks going on about in regard to elections, we were going to rectify through the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the other voting rights laws that fucking Sinema and Manchin just wouldn't undo the filibuster. They were more interested in this archaic racist Senate rule than saving this country from a fascist coup, and I hope they burn in hell. So anyway, fraudulent election. Other times elections are manipulated by smear campaigns, right? Fake election, right? Stolen against, or even assassinations of opposition candidates, use of legislation to control voting numbers or political district boundaries, and manipulation of the media. Fascist nations also typically use their judiciaries to manipulate and control elections. So, yeah, I mean, we have this, and this is the Republican Party for many years, and now it's all coming home to roost. So what were you going to say before I
Well, I was going to tell some jokes, but
please
why
tell some friggin' joke.
Oh, well,
yeah.
All right. Well, you were talking about banning books. You know what books that they're banning?
What?
That Where's Waldo?
I know
There's
you
one
said
book
that. That's right.
Oh, did I do?
Well,
I
don't know if you did the joke.
Okay,
You did the say it again. I forget it. I remember you told me, but
Well,
I don't remember what the joke was.
Well, the Where's Waldo was one book, and Winnie the Pooh is another book that they're trying to ban because they said that the right wing say that God abhors talking animals.
Really?
Or something like that.
Is this true?
Is
this true?
Yeah, no, that it's an affront to God. Talking animals is an affront to God.
Oh no.
And that's why, Winnie the Pooh is out. And I say, well, what about talking assholes? How about that? Isn't that an affront to God? That should be an affront to God, too.
Yes. Yes. That is true. Well, I'm looking at the
Charlotte's Web too.
Wow, all of my favorite books, Winnie the Pooh and Charlotte's Web, were like my favorites as a child. No wonder.
Yeah, because
I'm gay.
that's a spelling spider. Anyway, why can't? What about the Judiciary Act? Can't we get on that?
Judiciary Act. Let me see. What is that?
Yeah, which is Biden can elect 4 more justices.
Yeah, well,
and put them on the Supreme Court.
That's what we need, and
that's what he can do.
Well, he just today, as you weren't listening to the show earlier, I know because you were doing another show, so that's fine. But we were talking about. I was watching corporate media, and Karine Jean-Pierre said that Biden does not support expanding the court. Fuck you. Because that's what needs to happen.
Come on.
Yep. But
that is what needs to happen.
Other Democrats are calling for it, and to my relief, some Democrats that were making the rounds on the media today were calling this Supreme Court what they are, illegitimate, and they are. They are an illegitimate court.
Yep.
They would put on there by dirty tricks and manipulation and all kinds of, the dishonorable, dirty tricks of Moscow Mitch, and they were all dishonorable. Everybody is touting how when Trump invited these Republicans to a coup, some Republicans stood up to him, and said, no, thank you. I'm not going to be in this coup. What's the difference between Amy Coney fucking Handmaid bitch face Barrett? She was invited to a coup and she said yes.
Yeah.
Right? And so Kavanaugh and Gorsuch, all of them. Mm-hmm.
So why would we go along with what they say at this point in time? Why can't
I know?
Why would Biden say?
I know.
He wouldn't use National Guard or national troops because of what the Senate, the Supreme Court says, would he?
I don't. What are you talking about? Use what? Huh? What do you mean? What? He wouldn't use troops. I don't know what you mean.
If the Supreme Court, I don't get it. If the Supreme Court says abortion is illegal, but every state can choose for themselves.
Oh God.
What the fuck?
What do you mean?
Why? So Rhode Island says it's legal for us, but Mississippi says it's illegal. So Mississippi's governors and police and everybody are gonna get on board with this?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. But this is the problem, and this is another example of how Republicans hate America. Because the founders and the early Americans went through this. This is why we have a constitution. They had the Articles of Confederation, and then they realized we can't live like this. We can't have states doing just whatever the fuck they want and negating, the common welfare of the country. So that's why we have a constitution. And now it's like, go back to the states. Well, how about if that's the case, then let's just break this fucking shit up already. Because who needs them? Who needs you? Who needs you? But, there are normal people there too. But it's just like they want, it's like Republicans in general. They want all the benefits of civilization, but they don't want any of the responsibilities that we have to each other. That's the way it is. They're like Goldilocks. They hate government. Government is just right in the ways that it serves them, or so they think. That's the parts we should keep. But if government does something for somebody else, that's too big, that's too much. Until they want, to inflict their fucking manias on us, Not everybody, this is what I just can't take it. The fact is, wait, hold on, here comes the music. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm sick of the tyranny of the minority. Hold on. We'll be right back. And this is Tara Devlin, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. And we're talking to Poppy Champlin, comedian Poppy Champlin, who is, we're commiserating.
Tough to be.
What?
Yeah, tough to be funny.
I know.
To be funny, but I have a good idea.
Okay.
I have a really good idea, and you can tell me how bad it is.
Tell me.
But if these states that are going to be banning abortion in their state, I say get somebody I think it's a good investment. If anybody on the chat wants to invest, let me know. You get a jet that's all tricked out like a hospital, And if they want to get an abortion, you just fly up 30,000 feet above your state house, get an abortion, and lay it back down.
Jesus Christ.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like going on. That's true. You can have like abortion flights, right?
Yeah, air abortion.
That's true. That is true.
Know?
Oh yeah, I guess that's
why
what's
couldn't you do that?
gonna happen, right?
That and cruise ships, take an abortion vacation,
right?
And you just
that
have a cruise ship like the Mercy ship, and you have an abortion out in the open waters, right off of your coast.
Yeah, well, this is what's come to. But isn't it embarrassing? Though? I mean, everything that's happening in this country, everything that sucks, these fucking fascists want and celebrate. And that's why they're unfit, and they should never be given any power at all, because they can't handle it. They don't want to compromise. They don't want to share. You know what I mean? Instead of living and let living. You know, it's like with trans people. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't, I don't understand. Like they're inflicting themselves on families with trans children. Yeah, they have no clue. And shut your mouth. You know what I mean? Like, if in the very least, just shut your fucking mouth and move along and mind your own business. But they can't do that.
Right, because what they're trying to do is control. Are they trying to control people fucking, or are they trying to control people? They're trying to control people having sex, because if they don't want contraceptive, they don't want they don't want abortions. They want people to not fuck, basically, until they're married.
No.
But, I mean, they want it to go back to how that was, those days where you don't have sex until you're married.
Which,
is that what it is that they're getting at?
I think it's about control. You know, when you're, and that's religion in a nutshell anyway, with certain religion. Because if you can control someone's sex life, you know, you literally have them by the balls, and that's why they do that. So, and you know,
but yet they don't control their own sex life. I mean,
no, they're
crazy.
disgusting. They also they hate themselves, and they're repressed, and they can't stand that other people are living authentic lives, and they just can't handle it. It's like, I was telling, I did the show last night, and I was telling everybody I was on that Nextdoor app and having an argument with some fucker, because they can't even control themselves on the Nextdoor app. The Nextdoor app, you're supposed to be nice on that app. Yeah, they're supposed to be like civil on that app, you know. And I was saying there was, you know, people are posting somebody got robbed, like somebody broke into somebody's car. And then there was another post about somebody walked out of this. I was just in Rite Aid, and they walked out with 2 cases of beer, you know. And then somebody writes, "Keep voting Democrat." Like that has, like, fuck you, right? Like that has something to do with they can't even control themselves on the Nextdoor app, and it's like, shut your face. Like, you have to, everywhere you go, because you're such a cultist, you gotta be, don't keep voting Democrat. Like, shut your mouth. They don't know how to behave. You know what I mean?
I thought the Nextdoor app was supposed to be like for getting jobs or free shit or something.
Yeah, it's just like supposed to be like casual, and that's why they promote civility, and I don't really get into politics on there, but until some fucker posts, "Keep voting Democrat," like they cannot help themselves, and I would never go on there and say, "Well, see, there's your Republican for you," you know. But they can't help it. Just like and then somebody posted, because there's a gay pride parade in Queens, and they were so somebody was like, "Gay pride parade in Queens," and they were bringing a class, a school, you know, some children to the gay pride parade, and the fuckers were losing it. And they ended up deleting the post, I guess, because I went back to look at it, and it was gone. because of these pricks. And this is what they want. They intimidate everybody. And they're like, oh, well, this is inappropriate. You're introducing them to sex. I don't care. This is what they were saying. I don't care what people do in their privacy of their home. Two consenting adults. But don't shove it on the children. How many fucking years do we have to endure that? Don't shove it on the children. Like, you're not out there, talking about sex. How about we're talking about inclusivity, the beautiful diversity of the human experience, and maybe for the gay kids who are in that class, and there's one or two of them, that they don't have to grow up feeling like shit about themselves, and that their straight friends aren't assholes. Who make them so ashamed that they go off and kill themselves, So the people so some of these fucking pricks were like, yeah, well, I they were talking about trans people, of course, right? Because that's the new kick down.
Punching bag.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, oh, these people, let them grow up before you push your agenda on them. Like a mother and father has a baby, let's say, right? Or let's say that a straight couple has a child, and they're like, yes, Johnny, you're a girl. That in what world does that happen? It doesn't happen. It's the kid. Nobody's pushing anything on them. And then when their fucking kid is like, I'm a girl, I'm not a boy or whatever, then they don't know what to do, right? So instead of making them feel like shit, they embrace them. Oh my God, well, isn't that terrible? And they try to get them help.
Right. What are you supposed to do?
Right? It's like, and then so these scumbags on the Nextdoor app were like, well, I'm not opposed to whatever, but wait until it's age appropriate. And I said, I was like, you are sick. You people are sick. You're the sick one, because you're the ones putting your sickness on other people. That's your shit. Mm-hmm. Look at yourself. Mm-hmm. Don't.
Oh my God!
Don't inflict
you got
it.
Into like a whole thing on the neighborhood app. Oh
yes,
my God!
Because I can't. I'm not gonna let shit lie there, and stink up the floor. And then they were like, oh God. And then somebody was like, God makes men and women. He doesn't make mistakes. Oh, really? What God are you talking about? I mean, you wear glasses? You ever go to the fucking doctor? Where do you live? And maybe God made trans people as a test for you to act like a human being, if it triggers you so much. Yeah. Maybe that's why trans people exist. So it's your opportunity to show some humanity and compassion and not be a douchebag. And I said, if you're so confused, just shut your mouth and move along. Why don't you educate yourself? And obviously, you don't know what you're talking about. So, shut your mouth and move along. Live and let live. Why does it bother you so much? Leave people alone. But they can't help it. Right. They cannot help it. Just like what's going on now. They cannot help it but inflict their manias on this world. If you don't want an abortion, don't get one. Anyway, hold on a second, Poppy Champlin. This is the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show. I can't believe it. It went by so fast. And that's the way it is here on Tarabuster. Become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. This is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together, we win, and we will win. That's what they're afraid of. Keep fighting. And join us on the chat, youtube.com/cfachannel/Tarabuster. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. And there's Poppy Champlin, too. All right,
Hey.
We're back. Did you hear the music?
A little bit.
Just in my headphones then, I guess. Not on your...
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking. You should be able to hear it, but for some reason...
Haiku is apologizing on the chat because he's he went all out.
What did he say? Let me see. What did he say?
Well, it's about, he said, I forget who he was talking to, but all of a sudden he's like, more dumpster babies, more abandoned children,
Right.
dead mothers who can't raise the family
That's
they
right.
already have.
Yep, that's what they're doing.
It is.
That's it. That is it. 100%. They don't see. This
Yeah.
is the thing. Republicans. They don't care about life, and they don't. If they cared about reducing the abortion rate, they would promote policies that actually reduce the abortion rate, like universal health care, higher education, living wages, family leave. They don't, though. All they do is criminalize abortion, which does not reduce the abortion rate at all. It does. All it does is kill women.
It increases it.
Exactly. Every policy that the Republicans promote and cheer as life is the opposite of life. Every policy
Because they're trying to roll a rock up the hill. I mean, that ship is come and gone, man.
Right, I know.
For them to go backwards with that is ridiculous.
God. I
man.
hope
and especially today.
Oh, I
Especially
know.
today with the angry men that are out there right now, with the angry Trumpers
God.
and their guns and their dicks,
Well,
and
that's what they
they're
want.
just going to rape more women. They're going to rape more women.
Yes. Well, they want women.
I'm
That's
scared
part
of
of it.
that.
Yeah. Well, they want women to be, nothing. They want women in their place. There's an interesting. I was talking about it yesterday too. There was a interesting documentary on Netflix now. You have Netflix?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
no,
I
it's
do.
oh, okay. And where is it? I'm just trying to look for it. Oh shit. Hold on. It's stupid thing. I hate when this happens. It just started playing the audio. What is it called? There's the documentary. It's about like going online and falling into, and there are different topics. There's like 6 different topics that they explore about people who got introduced to, they use the internet for nefarious things. And and one of the stories that they talk about is about this girl who became a Nazi. Like she fell in with here it is, the web of make-believe, that's what it's called. And this girl, where is it? Let me see what the episode is. They went, there's a few different stories. One is, just getting this, it's called I'm Not a Nazi. A woman recounts her journey to becoming a mouthpiece for white nationalist hate speech, work that culminates, where is it? In the high-profile violence and murder of in Charlottesville. So she became. So she started her story. You should watch it. It's very interesting. So apparently her grandmother was a member of the Hitler Youth, but she had come out of it and become a normal person after the war. Like she had to be deprogrammed from it. But it began because the girl, how she described it, is that she was rescued by an African-American soldier. And so that kind of helped her,
Yeah.
think about people as people, and think about the
Right,
stupidity that she had been taught. And anyway, but so that's the backstory. But then she goes to a bar. She meets this guy. They talk. They have a great conversation, and she really falls for this guy. And it ends up he is a fascist, and he's part of this Nazi movement, and so that's how it begins. And he says to her, "I'm a fascist, and you better accept that," and blah blah blah. So she does, and she becomes basically then they apply to there's a fascist organization. What is it called? Europa, something Europa, Identity Europa or something. And she also, part of the whole indoctrination is that she becomes like the little woman, like that's what he wants. No, don't speak up, talk back, shut your mouth, get my dinner, bitch. And look good, fuck me, suck my cock, and then go make dinner and like be a good little bitch woman and don't say anything and just be whatever they want, whatever they think. And it's all under the guise, like they wrap everything. All these Nazis, all these fascists, all these Republicans, they wrap everything in this higher minded bullshit, like it's natural, it's the way it's supposed to be. Obviously it's not the way it's supposed to be, because the human experience is diverse and it is vast, and governments are formed so we can all get along. And why don't women have equal rights yet? Right, exactly. Because of these bitches. Because dumb bitches like that. For real. But why didn't Clinton give us equal rights? Why hasn't Biden gotten that one to go through? The ERA? Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I saw a sign today that said if the ERA had gone through, then abortion would not be able to be touched. Yeah, that's something. Right. Yep. Because, I don't know the whole history behind it. All I know is that, let me see, what's the situation with the equal rights? It's because of people like, that bitch, that Nazi bitch who came out, had an awakening. And she says that she does regret, when she looks back, because she introduced so many people to this, she brought so many people into this Nazi movement, and a lot of them are still there. But it's like, Phyllis Schlafly, women are their own worst, these women are their own worst enemies, and are our enemies, really. So you're saying there's some of those women talking over these other guys' shoulders, saying, of course, not all women want to be equal. We like the free ride. We like to be able to what? Because they want that patriarchal pat on the head. They get their identity from men. That's the way it was for time immemorial, for the last 2,000 years, right? Women got, if they had any power, it was because of their relationship or association with a man, right? So for thousands of years, because of Christianity, because of the church, because of Rome going Christian, really. So the men know this too, and give them that pat just to keep them right there. Well, you notice the Republican women are the worst. They allow the Republican men give these, like Sarah Palin and the women in the Republic, or Perjury Trader Green, and Green. They give them like Amy Coney, Handmaid Barrett, right? She's in a fucking cult, and she's still in this cult where, according to she is a handmaid. That's what they call themselves, and she has to run every decision by her husband. So, that's the way God made.
Wow.
This is what they say from this ancient book of fables. This is what it's all about. It's natural. This is the natural order of things when it's not natural, because there are so many people that are outside of that. And if you have to beat and intimidate and legislate people into their hierarchy, then it's not natural. Right. People want to be valued. Right. They want to be appreciated and valued, and they want to be themselves. What is so horrible about that? Whether a girl wants to play baseball, or or a boy wants to wear a fucking dress and put on who cares? Who cares? What does it matter? Are they good people? Are they nice? Are they decent to each other? Are they, but it's the Republican, it's the fascist and conservative, always trying to, and they're always trying to they really are assholes. But ultimately, many of it is just because of their own sickness. Now, you can't tell me there's not something wrong with Mike Pence. He's a closet case.
I can't believe he just did that.
He did what?
He's so lucky to even be alive. That he's so lucky to be alive
I know.
right now.
I know.
He's so lucky that everybody was like, oh, Mike Pence, he did such a good job. Mike Pence. And then he went and did that?
Did what? Wow. What are you talking about? Did what? You have to be specific.
I'm talking about, he said today that he now wants it to be a national rule, abortion to be a national thing instead of just for the state.
Of course.
What an asshole.
They can't live in a democracy. It is too much for that. They lack the maturity to live in a democracy. They want everybody. They need the hierarchy. They want everybody in their place. Because they're cowards. They're freaks. They're repressed in some form, and they're afraid if people are allowed to live their authentic lives, it's a little too tempting. Like Mike Pence is a fucking closet case. There's no doubt in my mind.
I think I was a born again Christian for about I don't know how long, a year
really?
And a half, two.
When?
I don't know. Yeah, in high school. And I quit drinking, I quit smoking, and I just followed the
Jesus?
Bible with these friends.
Were you
because
gay?
They were. I wanted to be gay, and they looked gay to me, so I was hanging out with them.
But you were wait. Were you in the closet at the time?
Yeah.
Okay. You were trying to be straight?
I was in the closet. Yeah, I was trying to be straight, and these women were gay, but they were trying to be straight too.
Oh God, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but then they were kind of dilly-dallying on the side, and I could see it. And I'm like, oh, they definitely are gay. Well, it was my gym teacher. Come on. So, but they
definitely
believed, of course, my gym
Of course.
teacher, but they believed in the Bible. It was Baptist.
Oh,
and
God.
they believed in the Bible to the T.
Ridiculous.
To the T.
Ridiculous.
Like every word, what they believe.
Please.
And totally. And so if Pence is one of those people,
he is.
They just believe it. They just believe it. They believe that there was Noah. They believe that Jonah was in the whale. They believe. They just believe everything.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. Those Duggars.
They live like that.
Yeah. Those 19 kids and counting Duggars. They're all fucked up. The one who's like in prison now because he's a sexual predator. He's a pedophile. This is what happens. They're disgusting. And before he was caught for being a pedophile, we know he molested his sisters, but he also He got caught on that Ashley Madison site where they, it's like cheating on your spouse site, and and the person. Oh, and he also, when he was in the Family Research Council as the executive director of the Family Research Council, then he was giving all these speeches about how gays are horrible and everything. And marriage is a sacred bond between one man, one woman, and a porn star,
God.
right? But right. So so they lived in Washington D.C. because he was at this fucking fascist organization, this Christo-fascist Family Research Council, and so he was going to strip clubs, right, on the side. To because he's such a Christian, and he paid one of the people, one of the strippers there, and she was a porn star too. So this woman that was a stripper, she worked at this club. She gave him a lap dance apparently, and then he paid her for sex, and she sued him because. She said, let me look this up. She said that he raped her. Okay, so let's see, Josh Duggar. But also she won. I think. Let me see. He, if I remember correctly, that he raped her, and he was she was fucking him for pay. So it wasn't like he needed to do that, and he abused her. And apparently, according to the court documents, he was, he really has issues, clearly. He hates women.
Yeah.
It's clearly because he hates women. He was, like, calling her a bitch and, like, hitting her. And, like, because he this is what happens, when you're repressed and you grow up and everything is dirty, you know what I mean? And then... obviously he's fucked up in many other ways. Let me see. Josh Duggar, let's see. Porn star? Let me see what comes up. But I think, she sued him. And says, here we go. Brutal rape. Here it is. Former porn star accuses Josh Duggar of a brutal rape. He is a disgusting man, says Danica Dillon, who accused Josh Duggar of brutal rape. It says she hopes he's jailed over his child pornography charges, and after he, faced no consequences for molesting his children. I mean, his sisters. Well, and who knows, his children, right? Right. He has like 7 kids. Josh Duggar Josh Duggar's rape victim, former porn star Danica Dillon, sat down with the Daily Mail and recounted the abuse. She said she was not shocked by the blah, blah, blah. All right, okay. Let me see. She sued him in 2015 for a brutal rape, which he allegedly choked her and ignored her pleas for him to stop. He could have killed her, because he hates women. He hates, he just hates life. He hates sex. He is a sick fucking person, and that's what they do. They make these sick fucks, and they unleash them on the world. Children? He has like 7 kids. Good. Mm-hmm. At 7 and counting too. Right? It's like his mother.
This is interesting. Terry Taylor on the chat says that the Bible tells you how to have an abortion.
Oh, let's see.
Says Numbers 5:20 to 22. God loves the abortion and will talk you through how to do it.
Let me see. Numbers. So let's look this up.
Numbers 5:20.
Let's look this
the
up.
Book of Numbers,
I don't doubt it.
Chapter 5:20.
Well, there are there's
that would
Jewish.
Be amazing.
Yes, of course, because abortion abortion only became an issue with these fuckers, these Christo-fascists, when women started getting rights, and this is historical. You can look at in the historical record. Life began at birth, when you took your first breath. That's when it was never life began at conception, because people had not only had abortions, but there were a lot of children died. There were a lot of miscarriage. Yeah, exactly. It was no like prenatal care. It was
You're right. It must have been a high. Yeah.
Let's see. And there's also, if I remember this, let me see. I think a Jewish organization is suing for let's see, because in the Jewish tradition, abortion is not it's not a sin, and women have the right to abortion. So, and if I'm not wrong about this,
is that why they call it the Borscht Belt?
Oh. Yes, the Borscht Belt. It's just like, hey, you're here for your borscht.
Hey, a Borscht Belt.
Let me see.
I was thinking too, like, if now this whole abortion situation, and God would be okay with it, but then, okay, that was it. If Jesus was aborted, so maybe that's what it was. That why they're so against abortion, because if Jesus had been aborted, life would, not, could never go on.
Please,
so,
they hate Jesus. They hate Jesus. They make him up.
Do?
You know what I mean? What Jesus? They don't need Jesus. They just make shit up. They just make it up. Make up some fucking somebody, some sky spook.
Come on,
hate
if
Jesus.
Mike Pence heard you say that, Mike Pence loves Jesus.
He doesn't listen to Jesus. Did Jesus told him to pray in your closet, to go and pray in your closet and shut your filthy mouth, keep your stupid prayers to yourself. That's what Jesus said,
And he said that? Yes. I don't know what book that's in.
He said that.
Get that Numbers verse. Go get that Numbers verse and read it to us.
Let me see.
Numbers 5:20 to 22. Old Testament.
Let's see. Answers in Genesis. Well, it all depends on.
Terry, what does that mean?
Gotquestions.com. Well, this is Numbers 5:11 to 31 referring to God causing an abortion? But you got to look at the source.
Numbers 5:20 to 22.
No, 5:11.
20 to 20.
Are you telling me the wrong thing here?
Numbers. Terry and White Rabbit.
Well, it came up. That's what came up when I searched. I searched abortion Numbers 20. I searched that. Okay, let's see.
Oh, and it came up.
It said, these other things. Let me see. According to Numbers, let's see. Let me read it here. If you have gone astray, here we go.
If he had been aborted.
Well, whatever. They hate Jesus. And if Jesus came back, they would crucify him again. Jesus was crucified by the conservatives. The conservatives crucified Jesus. Not the progressives followed Jesus. That's what they were. They're the ones that were like, oh no, the old fuckers, the conservatives tell you an eye for an eye. But the progressives...
the corporations killed Jesus.
Well, no, it wasn't the corporations because, if you would say the corporations were the Romans, the Romans were like, okay, I wash my hands of this. You can have them. Because that's what happened. That's Pontius Pilate was like, okay, this guy did nothing, but you're calling for his execution.
Right.
Okay. You let her. All right. I wash my hands. That's what he said, right? So, but it was the conservatives.
I wash my hands of your demolition.
Oh my God!
Die if you want to.
I don't even know what you're saying. If you have gone astray, here's Numbers 20 to 22. If you have gone astray while married to your husband and have made yourself impure by having sexual relations with a man or other than your husband, Here the priest is to put the woman under the curse. May the Lord cause you to become a curse. This doesn't sound like, I don't know. Among your people, when he makes your womb miscarry and your abdomen swell. So it's God making your womb miscarry. May this water that brings a curse into your body so that your abdomen swells and your womb miscarries. Yeah, that is actually, you're right. Because they are saying that this, of course, women have been having abortions forever. So this is somebody putting water in somebody's womb and making them miscarry.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wow.
That sounds like a DNC
But it's
to
also
me.
somebody putting a curse on somebody.
Well, whatever. You know.
Yeah.
That is, he may cause your name. Yeah, whatever. They're just, that's always just like, you know, fucking with women. Women are always shit, you know, getting
Poor
cursed.
women.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, there you go. It's like the whole, they hate Jesus. That's the thing. Mike Pence hates Jesus. He doesn't listen to a thing Jesus says. Not a thing.
You don't think so? Come on.
No.
He listens. I'm telling you, these Bible people, they listen to.
No, they
what's
don't.
Going on? There's some ruckus. Some
There's a
black
ruckus?
hooded people are going to the Supreme Court right now.
Oh, really? Where? Where are you
Something's
looking? Where are you looking?
Yeah, on TV,
Huh?
MSNBC.
Let me see.
I don't know. There's a lot of people gathering.
Are they dressed as
But no
handmaids?
No, that would be good, and that's already sort of happened a while ago.
Yeah, of
but-
course. Well, it keeps happening, so they're out there.
Yeah.
The handmaids are out there. But
The handmaids are out there.
and it should. I mean, the handmaids are everywhere now. That's for sure. I
Yeah.
don't see anything. I'm looking at MSNBC. I don't see. Anyway, whatever. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Poppy tip jar. Thank you so much for your super chat.
What's that? Oh,
That's what he says. He gave me a super chat and said it was for Poppy. The Poppy tip jar.
Wow.
Isn't
Thank
that-
you, Jim. That's nice.
I'll have to send you.
How
I'll
much
have
did
to
he
send
give
you
me?
$2.
Oh.
Oh, now you're not so excited about it?
Who gave you that? Who gave you that $200 up there that's pinned to the top?
Jeffrey Giraffe.
Wow, Jeffrey Giraffe. Very, very, very nice. Oh.
Anyway.
I have
and
one
here
other
comes.
thing to say. One other
Go
one other
ahead.
thing to say about Jesus, and aborting things. Jesus supposedly was conceived with no sperm.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I already talked about
Oh,
this last time.
I don't
didn't
know
I?
what you're talking about there, but
I don't want to be redundant, but
I don't want to talk
no
about sperm,
sperm.
really. No, well, we talked about
Okay.
the whole. That's one of the. I had ordered a book, Celsus and the True Doctrine or something. What Celsus? Celsus was a contemporary of early Christians, right? So at the time when the Christians and the pagans, what became known as the pagans, were living side by side. Many times in the same household, you would have Christians and you would have adherents of the old, polytheistic, pantheon, right? And they were fighting a lot of times. And Celsus was a writer who lambasted the Christians, the early Christians. We only have his writings because he was so popular that because many of the other critics of early Christianity were destroyed. The writings of these people were destroyed, and so we have Celsus. We don't have his full work, but we have the Christian writing saying that, oh, well, Celsus says this, but we say that, you know what I mean? So them retorting Celsus. And he wrote about and everybody knows that Mary is, she's just some girl that got banged up by a Roman soldier. She got banged by a Roman soldier. And
really?
yes.
So she
And she,
Jesus is a
well,
Roman
yes,
soldier's
and she had to,
offspring?
and in order to save her honor, she said that it was a god that did it.
Makes
And
sense to me. I
yes,
would have
exactly.
said the same thing.
What do you think? I mean, what makes more
And why did
sense?
Joseph,
Right? And everybody, they had the
why
guy's
would
name.
Joseph believe it?
Right. Well, because
do?
this is it. Well, Joseph, according to the Bible,
Man.
was a lot older
This
than.
is a cold case that you're unraveling
Yes,
now.
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. It's great. So Joseph in the Bible, right? And I knew this as a kid. He was a lot older than Mary, and that's because Mary was probably, it was an arranged marriage, and Mary was a young girl, and she, according to Celsus, in the way he wrote, he was like, everybody knows that Mary was in love with a Roman soldier named Pantera, and he's the father of Jesus, and she only said that it was a god because she wanted to save her honor. And and then that's among the pagans of that time. Everybody, that's what they all said. That's what they knew and thought. So you think about it. What is the what are the chances? What's more logical? A young girl falls in love with a Roman soldier instead of some old fucking dude, and then tries to save her face and her ass by saying it was a god. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, it's or is it a god? Was it really a god? You know what I mean? It's like, clearly that's what happened. And so this whole world is spinning these Christo-fascists because of really because of misogyny in early.
They like the story.
Right. In the early recorded history. Right?
Yeah.
And,
the Catholics did it. I mean, they took it over and then
wanted
to control everything and the women and everything.
Of course.
Hey, I want you to read Numbers 5:23 to 28 now.
Wait, hold on. Why? Numbers.
Covert White Rabbit.
Numbers
5:23 to 28 says, it's a step-by-step instruction to perform an abortion conducted by priests and condoned by God.
Okay. The priest is to write these curses on a scroll and then wash them off in bitter water. That's what it says. Numbers 5. The Lord said to Moses, command the Israelites to send away I don't know.
No, 23 to 28.
Oh, 23.
Yeah, Numbers
23. I'm running out of time. The priest is to write these curses on a scroll and then wash them off into bitter water. He shall make the woman drink the bitter water that brings a curse. And then this water that brings a curse and causes bitter suffering will enter her. The priest is to take from her hands the grain offering for jealousy, wave it before the Lord, and bring it to the altar. The priest is then to take the handful of grain offering as a memorial, offering and burning it out on the altar. After that, he's to have the woman drink the water. If she has made herself impure and then unfaithful to her husband, this will be the result. When she is made to drink the water that brings a curse and causes bitter suffering, it will enter her. Her abdomen will swell and her womb will miscarry. She will become a curse. If, however, the woman has not made herself impure but is clean, she will be cleared of guilt and be able to have children. Yes. Well, I don't know.
Wow.
That sounds fucking
What's the bitter water?
ridiculous.
We got to know what the bitter is in that water. Those curses are written with
Well, it's always women getting cursed, and fucking men are just going along,
yeah.
Doing just doing whatever, doing whatever the hell they want.
Fucking them.
Right.
Fucking them when they want to.
Just fucking them and
fucking
moving
them
along.
When they
all right.
want to and saying, hey, lady, you're going to get cursed. Huh?
Exactly. And then, God help us. Anyway, we only have 2 minutes, so Poppy, I know.
All right. I'll go. Goodbye.
Poppy Champlin. Goodbye. Thank you for hanging. Anyway,
All
because
right,
you
thank
could
you.
stick around. I'm just gonna have to wrap up the show. So, but thank you for
You wrap up the
talking,
show.
and let's talk again very soon when we have more time.
All right.
How's that?
Okay.
All righty.
Goodbye,
Poppy,
everybody on the chat.
Goodbye.
Nice to see y'all.
Nice to see you.
All right. We'll
All right,
see
thank
you
you,
guys
Poppy.
soon. Hey, I'm doing Syracuse in September. Okay.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it soon. We'll talk about it next
Okay.
week or something. All right. How's that? Sound good?
All right.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Bye.
hellhole. Okay. See you later.
Hello.
Welcome to hell. Goodbye. All right, guys. I see because I'm looking at the timer. We only have like a minute left, and I want to thank Poppy for hanging out, and thank you, Covert White Rabbit, for numbers 23 to 28. Give step-by-step instruction to perform an abortion conducted by priest and condoned by God himself. Well, we know we're not dealing with logical people, and that's what they know it too. They know we will win because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. Thank you so much for hanging out. Become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Thank you, Poppy Champlin, for making me laugh on this horrible day. Remember to vote. We got to get out there and take this country back. We will win. We stick together. We win. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. Bye-da-boo-boo. All right, guys. That was a good show. Yeah, we had fun. We had some fun. Thank you, Poppy. And yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jeffrey and Jim and Richard W. and Matt and Jim again. Man, Jim, you are knocking it out of the park. And thank you, Covert White Rabbit. Guys, I do love you all. I really do. I needed that. We had some laughs. We didn't cry. We had some laughs. Tara Jr. behaved himself. There he is. Junior. How you doing? How you doing, cutie? See? Not a care in the world. And so it wasn't that bad. We got a lot of work to do. First, I hope the Democrats listen to this show and take our talking points, and remember to tell everybody that you run into that criminalizing abortion does not reduce the abortion rate. Let's start there. If you're pro-life, vote Democratic. That is your bumper sticker. Okay, guys, I gotta go. You know how it is on Fridays. I need to get the show prepared for Progressive Voices. It's a whole other to-do. But we will have more shows this week, of course, coming up. Hopefully as many as we can. And if somebody becomes a patron, we'll have a show in their honor that day. How's that sound? During the week. And, yeah. All right, guys. That was fun. And also, like I say, if you miss the chat and miss our community during the week and in between shows, join the Discord community. The link is in the description. That helps too. You know, post stuff there. Post pictures of your pets. Post pictures and post articles. Right? If you're in trouble, reach out. If you're having a bad day, this is a very loving community of people. I mean, you guys have gotten me through a lot of dark days in my mind, that's for sure. Dark nights of the soul. So it does matter, and we will win. All right, my friends. Yes, corporate Democrats need to become progressive Democrats. Errol Thomas says, that's for sure. And stop apologizing for being correct. Fight. Stop pining for Republicans. Stop asking them for their ideas. We know their ideas. They suck. All right. Where do I begin? We will win. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy. We are pro-life. We don't leave anybody behind. We're the patriots of this country, capable of functioning in a democracy. My name is Tara Devlin. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Remember, we're on these other platforms. Give the show a good review on iTunes. Tune in to the show on APS Radio News and FYI Nation and other platforms. Give the show a good review on iTunes. We stick together. We win. I'll see you guys very soon.